Applications, which means we're applying the math. Applications of solving right triangles. We don't have to do a whole lot of these because it's just the idea of why are we, these two, there's only two applications we're doing today. Angles of elevation, that's when you're really happy. And then angles of depression are when you're really sad. Angle of elevation is if you're looking straight out and make a horizontal line, horizontal, you're going to hear me say that a lot, and you look up at something and make an angle, that's called the angle of elevation. Okay? So let's do the first one. Now, most of this is just setting up a triangle. Drawing a triangle, right triangles, we're only doing right triangles, and labeling what they tell us and finding whatever else they want. It's the same as the solving for triangles. So this is a fire started at a campsite located 8 miles from the base of a mountain. So let me do my mountain here. Here's my mountain. 8 miles away, there was a campsite, so people were staying in some tents, and there was a fire. There it is. If the angle of elevation from the fire to the top of the mountain is 14 degrees, so let me do the base of the, or did I read it again? This messed me up again either. Basement. If the angle of elevation from the fire, so that's down here, from the fire to the top of the mountain, this angle would be my angle of elevation, and he said it was 14 degrees. So I'm going to label that. How high is the mountain? Whenever you see how high something is, it's probably always going to be a straight vertical line that we use to measure that mountain, making a right angle on the ground. Why is it important that I have a right angle? It created a right what? Right triangle. Right now, we only know how to solve right triangles. We don't know anything else, okay? Thank goodness it's a right triangle. Now look at that right triangle. I have a side of the triangle, 8. I have an angle of 14 degrees, and I have an unknown height of the mountain. I'm going to call it H. All I need is 3 things to work with, as long as only one of those is unknown. Let me ask you the question. What trig function would use that angle, this side of the triangle, and this side of the triangle? You think so? Does anybody else disagree with him? Does anybody agree with him? I got like 4 people. Why would you use tangent?
Because it's
opposite over adjacent is the tangent one, right? Why would I not use sine or cosine? I would have to have the hypotenuse, and I don't have it. So I'm going to tell you this like I told the class this morning. Most of these problems, tangent is your best friend. So I'm going to write my tangent of 14 degrees. Did you hear Abigail say opposite over adjacent? This is my opposite of the angle. It's across the street from the angle, but it's not counting the hypotenuse. So that's my unknown H over my adjacent, which is 8. All I have to do is solve this for H. So I got to get rid of the 8. So for this time, I'll say multiply by 8, multiply by 8. The 8's cancel, leaving me the best answer in the whole world, H. Why is it not writing it? H is equal to 8 tangent of 14 degrees. That's the best answer because it's the exact answer. But you're going to key that in your calculator. I can't key it in now because I don't have a calculator on my iPad now. and I want the nearest tenth. So the answer he's looking for, and I'm going to grab a card. No, I better pick on one of the OGs here because they got the popsicle sticks. You guys got cards. So I'm going to pick on Jerry. Good choice, Jerry. Did you key it in, Jerry? What'd you get? 199 what? 1.9 what? 9. Another 9. How do you round that to the nearest tenth? I'll write that out. 1.99. How do you round that to the nearest tenth? 2 point what? 0. You need the 0. 2.0, and this answer is not complete unless you put the unit. Label it. 2 what? Miles. Nice. Questions? I'm gonna leave your stick out for a little bit. Jerry, I'm not gonna tell you when I put it back in though, so still be on the alert. Number 2. A man is standing 85 meters from the base of a tower. So here's a man standing 85 meters from a tower. So there's the tower. What else do I know? The tower is 200 meters tall. Bless you. Bless you. If the tower is 200 meters tall, that means that's that vertical line that I talked to you about, making a right angle to the ground. Find the angle of elevation from the ground where the man is standing to the top of the tower. That means that line is that's the hypotenuse of this triangle. Here's my theta, and what is theta? What's it say? What is theta? Do I know what theta is? No, it said find the angle of elevation. This is unknown. Oh, I forgot to label my height. I better put my height of that tower. That was 200 meters, or else I'd have been in trouble. So I've got a theta. I have the opposite side. I do know it. I have the adjacent side. I do know it. What trig function? Very good. I heard more than 5 people that time. Let me hear you again. Everybody. Cosine. I don't have the hypotenuse. I could find the hypotenuse if you want to do extra work. So who said cosine? You could do cosine if you wanted to use what theorem? Yeah, Pythagorean theorem. But I kind of don't want to. I like to use what's given. First of all, once you find it, it's going to be a rounded answer anyway, most likely. I'm going to use tangent if you don't mind. Tangent of the angle that I do not know what it is has to be the 200 over the 85. Now, if you watched my video, for those that were not here when I did it live, how do I get tangent away from theta? How do I undo it?
Do you divide by the theta?
You can't divide by an angle because it's kind of like stuck inside. I think I heard it over here. Inverse tangent.
And -1.
Or it looks like tangent to the -1, but it really is symbolic. Or you could call it arctangent. Now, when I was doing it in class or in the video, I did this. I literally said inverse tangent of the left, inverse tangent of the right. The inverse tangent cancels out tangent, leaving the theta that I want to know is equal to the arctangent of 200 over 85. You guys with the Inspire, you're lucky. You still have that little trigonometry key up there on the front of your screen up in the left. When you press trigonometry, you get everything. You get sine, cosine, cosecant. inverse sine, inverse cosine, inverse tangent. Which one do you want to pick? Inverse tangent of this fraction.
Mr. Cartwright,
Yes.
do you need to, or like, do you want us to simplify the 200/75?
No, you don't have to, because you can key it in your calculator just the way it is. I wouldn't waste your time. Not for that. It's just as easy to type that fraction in as it is to type it as 5's 20 over.
3/17.
Yeah. It'll give you the same answer, Elena. So that's my exact answer, and I'm going to see who's used their calculator this time. A card. Because the card came from Mr. Dotery. Yeah, Nelly, you're the lucky one. Are you using a calculator? Why? You have it, but you were waiting for someone else to do it, right? Be honest. I might too. Can you key it in? Can somebody next to you, Nelly, know how to key it in? Anybody? Do you, Isabella, you know how to key it in? Can you show Yaneli how to key it in?
The inverse tangent?
Yeah. Oh, she's going to show. She beat you to it, Isabella.
66.9.
Is that rounded? What was after the 9?
7.
There was a 7. So that 7 makes the 9 into a 10. So the 66 turns into what? A 67 point what?
0.
And what's the unit? Feet?
Meters.
Meters?
Isn't it like an angle? So
It's an angle. Degrees. Tricked you. Degrees. You did. Sometimes I ignore when I hear the right answer somewhere because I want everybody to think about it. So I don't always award everybody who has it on the side. Now Lena is kite flying. I'm jumping to number 4. Lena is flying a kite. And the kite is 60 feet above the ground. So let me draw the ground. Let me put my kite up here. The best kite in the world. And for a fact, that vertical line, again, is going to be used as a triangle that gets the right angle. And I'm going to label it this time. 60 feet, right? What else do I know? The angle of elevation from where her hand is. Oh, well, I better draw Lena. Lena is this young lady that looks something like this. And yes, she has hands. And I may as well be creative with her Goldilocks. From her hand, there was an angle of elevation. So what I need to do is, in order to have an elevation from her hand, I need a horizontal. Always need the horizontal in order to make that angle of elevation. There it is. There's that theta. Now look at theta. 48 degrees and 18 minutes. Now I know all of you had this on your last test. Let's talk about 48 degrees and 18 minutes. Doggone it. That's 48 point something degrees. So I'm going to pick on Miranda. How do I turn 18 minutes into degrees, Miranda? There's either two choices. I either multiply by 60 or I divide that by 60. Which is it?
Multiply?
I think it is, because if it was 18 times 60, it would be an awful lot of degrees. It's not multiply. It's divide, right? It's divide. To go from the minutes to degrees, it's a divide. Here's how I remember it. 0.5 degrees, half a degree, I know is 30 minutes. I know that. I memorized that. So I say, well, 0.5, how do I get 30? Oh, divide it by, 30 minutes divided by 60 gives me the 0.5. That's how I remember it. So what is 18 divided by 60? Give me all the decimals. Anybody?
It's 3/10.
0.3.
Well, that's a decimal of 0.3, right? And there's no extra decimals. That's the angle I'm going to use, 48.3 degrees. Now, By the way, if this was a right angle, so is this. Where's the triangle that I'm using? Oh, I got more information. If her hand is 5 feet from the ground, this distance is 5 feet, which implies this distance is 5 feet. Oh. So how high is the kite from her hand?
75 feet.
75 feet?
55.
55 feet? Do I have a third answer?
Isn't it 55?
Why?
Because it's 5 subtracted from 60.
It is 55 feet. There's that side. This side's the same as the side that I never knew anyway. This is still the hypotenuse now. So let's see. What am I looking for? Length of the string. That's the hypotenuse. Oh, now I can't use tangent because I have to use hypotenuse in the equation. What trig function uses this angle, the hypotenuse that I don't know, and the side across the street?
Is it sine?
Is it sine?
No,
I see nobody else saying yes.
It's fine.
Okay, I got somebody saying yes. Anybody else agree with sine? All right. Sine of my 48.3 degrees has to be the 55 out of the length of string. Multiply both sides by h. H, sine of 48.3 degrees is 55. Get the h by itself by dividing both sides by sine of 48.3 degrees. Sine of 48.3 degrees. H is 55 divided by sine of 48.3 degrees. And with the calculator, now it's time for another popsicle stick. I shouldn't tell you guys, I should just surprise you. You should be all typing it in. Abigail, what's the approximated answer?
74. Rounded.
Well, I need a decimal place.
73.666.
Was it a 6.6?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make that 6 into a 7? 73.7? What's the unit? Degrees? Meters?
I think, isn't it feet?
I think it was feet of string, wasn't it? I'd love to see her flying a kite with miles of string. That would be a sight to see. All right.
I'm pretty sure it's been done already.
All right, there's 3 elevation problems. There's 3 more. If time permits, we can come back. Let's go and look next. There's actually a 4th one here. Probably an ugly one, most likely. I wouldn't throw it away if I were you. Sometimes I use the problems I miss on your quizzes just to see if you guys ever do them. Oh, by the way, when you get the restroom passage, please bring them back to me so I make sure that they get disposed of correctly. Angles of depression. You're still looking straight out. You're still making a horizontal. This time, instead of looking up, you look down and you make your theta as an angle of depression. And I got from the top of a lighthouse, 150 feet above sea level. Let me draw that out. I have a lighthouse and it has a light up here and it's 150 feet. So I need a height of that. So that's going to be this perpendicular again, 150 feet. The angle of depression to a boat at sea is 28 degrees. So there's a boat somewhere out here in the water, okay? And the angle of depression means, guys, I have to draw this horizontal line first. From there, I make my angle of depression to the boat. And that was 28 degrees. What is the horizontal distance from the boat to the base of the lighthouse? So I'm going to just give that a letter. I'm going to give, since it's horizontal, I'm going to call it an X. Now, before I do this problem, a chance for extra credit. Let's see who does know their geometry stuff. And the miss can't answer because she's a pro at geometry now. What is this line that I drew in red called that crosses these two parallel lines? What is it called? I've only had 2 people in 2 days have an answer.
Sight.
What's that?
Line of sight?
Nope.
Like the actual term for the line?
Yes, ma'am?
Peripheral?
What?
Peripheral?
Peripheral? No, that means on the outside. Okay, I'll take the points. I won't make the points as worth as much now. Starts with a T. Nobody? Okay, I'm going to give it to you, but I'll still give you a chance. Transversal. You were going to say it? What happened? Why didn't you shout it out at me or throw your shoe? Transversal. That's called a transversal. Now you remember, guys? All right. Here's the money, okay? If I have a transversal that cuts 2 parallel lines, I create basically 8 angles in this picture if I wanted to talk about it. But there's 4 from this blue line to this line, there's 4. But these 2 are called what?
Which two?
This one and this one are called what? What are they called? Angles?
Of elevation? Of elevation and depression?
No, that's the application of the trig. There was names for angles. And there was also a name for this angle and this angle.
I don't know. Too cute.
Oh, okay. It was called alternate interior angles. Third chance. You're going to strike out if I don't get somebody get this. Tell me about alternate interior angles from a transversal cutting 2 parallel lines. Give me a fact about alternate interior angles. Yes.
They're equal to each other?
There you go. Got finally a winner. Now, you don't get as many points. That was the third part. Oh, what happened? Hope someone's still gone, but I'm sure as soon as they come back. They're equal. So instead of, why am I playing this game? I don't want to look at this triangle on top. I could, I don't want to. So that 28 degrees, I can put it down here. So you don't have to do that, but that's what I do. Did she come in yet? Okay, wait for Sher to come back and then you can go. So what trig function uses the height of the lighthouse, the unknown distance to the boat, and this angle?
Tangent.
It's your best friend. I don't need the hypotenuse. Tangent of 28 degrees must be 150 over x. Solving that for x, there's 2 steps, but you guys should be able to do those 2 steps in your head by now. X is equal to 150 divided by tangent of 28 degrees. And that gives me an approximate answer. Am I on cards or am I on sticks right now? Guess it's a card. And I did shuffle them already. Lucky person, Hanya. Or Hania. How do you say it? Hanya. Oh, it's got that different accent in there. Hanya. Hanya? Is that better?
Yeah.
Hanya? Do you have your calculator out? Warmed up?
Yeah.
Can I have your answer?
282.1.
200 and what?
82.1.
Wow, it's far away. What's the unit?
Feet.
It is feet, I believe. Let me look again. It is feet, yes. Nice job. Okay, let's do another one.
Just under a football field.
What's that?
Just under a football field.
I can't hear you.
Just under a football field.
Yeah, right. Let's do this one here, number 9. Thank you, ma'am. This one I'm grabbing because look what I see. I just saw this with my eye. The angle of depression from a helicopter to a landing pad is this. Let me draw the picture first. Now, don't laugh at my helicopter, please. They laughed at me yesterday, and I don't know why. They said it looked like I was having a flying dinosaur.
The world turtle.
Okay, there it is again. See, somebody said almost the same thing. There's my helicopter, and it is going towards a landing pad out here to land on the ground. And the angle of depression from the helicopter to the landing pad means I need a horizontal line. The angle gets depressed from that horizontal. And there is the angle of depression. He says it is 34 degrees, 54 minutes, and 8 seconds. I don't want to mess with all that. I want one number that has decimals, but don't round the answer this time because this is not the final answer. So I need more decimals than just one, maybe 3 or 4 places for now. How do I convert this into, I know it's going to be a 38 point something. What do I do with this 54? Do I multiply it by 60 or divide by 60?
Sir, I think it's 34.
34. Oh, 34, yes.
And we divide by 60.
Divide by 60. So it's going to be 34 plus 54 divided by 60. True. Plus 8 divided by 60. Say it again. 3,600. Could someone please tell me what that is? Give me 4 decimals. That's 34 point.
002.
Is there any more decimals? 0, 0, 2. What else? Another 2?
2 repeating.
Forever? All right. So I would, if I were you, I would keep at least those 4. 0022. 34.0022 until the bitter end. All right. Now, if the horizontal distance of the helicopter is, I can't read my own writing, or 1,200 feet, is that what it says? He's far away. That means, guys, he wants to find out how high the helicopter is, so I need to drop my perpendicular here, and then I got to draw that distance is 1,200 feet. And he wants to find out my altitude, which is the height that the helicopter is. I wonder which trig function uses, okay, now the angle here, I'm going to use it down here, okay? Because of alternate interior angles are congruent. I'm going to use that 34 angle down here. What trig function uses this side and this side? It's your best friend. Tangent. Tangent of 34.0022 has to be, the opposite is the what? The height. I called it A. Over the distance on the bottom, 1,200. So solving this for A, get your calculators ready. I'm not going to tell you who I'm picking this time. A will be 1,200 tangent of 34.0022. That's my exact answer. And for all the cookies in the cookie jar, well, that was yesterday. Oh, you guys remember Gavin?
Who?
Oh.
Who?
He was here, and then he was gone, and I didn't even know he was gone for 3 weeks.
Oh.
Desiree. Hello. What's my approximated answer? Now you can round.
1,778 point, no, actually, let me do it rounded. Oh, never mind. 1,778.8.
70, 70?
No, 78.
Oh, what's 78? 0.9. Do you have a unit? It was the altitude, feet. So the helicopter is way up there. Okay. I'm done. You're going to do on this page, I just the odds. That's a homework 5. Here's what I need you to do. Let me get a blank page here. Get out a clean sheet of paper.